Hey, what's up, Dog Tags Bowling fans? We appreciate you sitting around, see if we're going to be on. It is U.S. Open week. Everyone's busy. Everyone's busy. So, Gary might be on. Moonshine, Grandpa Moonshine, that's what we're calling him now. Michelle Russell is in Woodlands. She's doing her stuff, rooting on her husband, the professional bowler. JVB might be on, the guy that jumps out of airplanes for a living. We have a great guest tonight, Brian Falada. Brian Falada has been drilling AJ Johnson, the guy that is going to win the U.S. Open this year. He's been drilling his bowling balls for a long time. So we're going to do a little intro for Dog Tags. We're going to be right back. So thanks for joining. All right, so I'm kind of running the show solo, but that's okay. Wendy's watching, RJ's watching, so yeah. So we typically weren't going to run a show during the U.S. Open week because there's so much going on, and I'm telling you, all you 220 league bowlers think you go bowl the PTQ at the U.S. Open, see how you do. You'll be right back the day after. So it is what it is. So what we got going on, hopefully we get the rest of the dog tag crew coming in. Let me introduce Brian Falada. Brian Falada started off as a golfer. No, you were a baseball player, right? Hey, let's bring him up. We'll do this very quick. At stage. Brian Falada, welcome to the show, bro.
Glad to be here.
So I got your bio, but the best thing is just give a little history of what you're doing.
Sure. So I grew up in a bowling center, right? Both parents bowled different nights of the week. Don't know how many stories I heard about falling asleep on the benches in the bowling center. Dad bowled on Friday nights. We were right back in the bowling center Saturday morning, bowling bumpers. Then minors, then majors. So I bowled probably until I was, I don't know, 12-ish, let's call it that. But was always, it was baseball in the spring and the summer, and then bowling in the wintertime. My grandfather introduced me to golf at some point in time, and when I got to high school, there was no bowling team.
Right.
Boys bowling did not exist at my high school. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So
Brian,
yeah.
How old are you?
I am 41.
All right, so I'm 57. There was no such thing about bowling when I was a kid. Absolutely not. And I truly believe, and I'm never saying that I would be as good as those guys are doing now. But if I'd have started when I'm 5 or 6, maybe. But I was an all-state baseball player, legitimate. I went to play college baseball. I had no idea about bowling. I had no clue.
No, and it is definitely. I mean, you and I have talked before. I'm a high school bowling coach now, right? And being able to see the amount of money that's available to these kids who, maybe we have some bowlers on our team or in our program who, if it wasn't for bowling, it might be a little bit hard to afford college.
Right.
The bowling is giving them a chance to maybe pay for at least part of their college. If you can continue bowling for a couple more years and get your college paid for or partially paid for, that's even better. But that was never a thing when we were in high school. It was, like I said, we had a girls bowling team, but boys bowling just was not a sport that was offered. So
hey, sorry I'm late. Just jumping in here. I'm Gary Lewis. I'm part of the Dog Tags crew, but I jumped in right at the right time. Our daughter Sierra, she bowled at UAB.
Okay.
And she had 12 scholarship offers. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just trying to.
No, you're good.
12 scholarship offers. She was at UAB, 4-year starter, and with all of the scholarships, smart money, EYT, junior gold, all that stuff. I think me and her mom had to pay for 4 years. UAB is around 26,000 a year. I think with everything that Sarah got, me and her mom had to pay like $14,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's crazy nowadays. Like I said, I mean, it's just, I see what's available to the kids and I'm like, hey, you might not have thought about bowling in college. It might not even be something that you thoroughly enjoy, but man, if you can stick it out for a couple of years, it's a great avenue to set you up a little bit better for the rest of your life.
At least get you in. And so Brian, just to give you a little background. So the whole reason that dog tags bowling exists today is because Gary's daughter, Sierra, went to UAB. She wrote a book about bowling. The NCAA says, no, you can't do this. He started a thing called Pins for Pins.
Okay.
For writing pins. And then once she got out of school, he's like, this ain't working. So let's create a 501c3. So Gary over here, Gary over there, and then JVB over there, or not whatever. It's hard to do. So JVB, Brian Falada, Gary Moonshine, Brian Falada. We all three are former military. I'm 4 years on U.S. Army Honor Guard. Gary is 6 years Navy, and Jason Belcom is currently serving 17 years. Jason, you're 17 years active duty?
18.
Sorry.
and Gary's 10 years, not 6.
Oh, 10? Okay. You're 10, Gary?
I have 10 on the books. Yeah, I did 8 and 3/4. The last was the last was inactive reserves. You show up for a weekend and just hang out with the guys, right? So.
All right, so let's get into the heat of the moment. The reason that we brought Brian Falada on the show. So Brian Falada has been drilling AJ Johnson stuff for 15 years. Brian, you think?
That's probably a pretty fair estimate. Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means you've been drilling my stuff for 6 because I bowl AJ stuff.
Yes, that is true.
The best thing ever is he's like, hey, man, Deuce, go bowl this. I'm like, cool. I take my thumb, screw it in, all good. Boom. I don't have to train pitch, nothing, span, finger, nothing. I just bowl his stuff. So when I need a new bowling ball, I'm just going to send it to you, say, drill like AJ, call it good.
Hey, we're good. I got his specs. We're good to go.
That's fine. That's what I bowl. That's what I bowl. So,
perfect.
So AJ knows Gary extremely well. Gary and AJ have been buddies for a long time. JVB and AJ are good buddies for a long time. We don't get the opportunity to all hang out together enough, but the bowling community is so freaking small. You've been doing it for a long time. It's amazing. So how did you get hooked up with AJ?
Oh man. So I'll give you the Cliff's Notes version of catching up back then. So I went to college for construction management, came out with a degree in possibly the worst time I could have. It was right around 2008. As you all know, the economy was not the greatest back then. So I was out of college in 2008, was working for a company, almost was there 2 years, right around 2009, 2010, and got downsized, lost my job. And at the time, I had just started back bowling. My dad had asked me to bowl with him in league on Friday night. Got hooked up at good old Pioneer Lanes when Steve Lunsford was running the shop there. And it was one of those
Stripes Pro Shop.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, if you've ever been in that shop, it was one of those places where if you got in there at the right time of the day, of the evening, after league, you just didn't leave, right? You didn't leave until the place closed down. So Steve and I got to be good friends. And, I'd stop in there. I bowled on Tuesdays. I bowled on Fridays. I'd stop in there beforehand, got to know him pretty well. We're practicing a lot, hanging out, this and that. And I had told him, I said, I don't, things aren't going well at work. They're not giving me a lot of work lately. I don't think this is good. He's like, well, you're not going to lose your job. Like you're the lowest, you're cheap. Like they can't get rid of you, right? I said, well, I don't know. So come to find out, not even a week later, my boss comes in, tells me, hey, we got to let you go, blah, blah, blah. So I show up to league the next night and get there a little early. And he's like, well, why are you here so early? I go, well, they let me go. He's like, and this was on a Friday night. He goes, well, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, I got nothing going on. He goes, I open the shop at 8:00. He goes, be here at 8:00 in the morning. So Saturday morning, I showed up before Saturday morning kids league, and that's it. He started teaching me how to drill bowling balls.
That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it was Steve is one of my best friends, one of the best people I've ever met. Not a lot of people would take a chance with somebody that maybe they didn't know for all that long, or didn't even know if you could, lay out a bowling ball, drill a bowling ball, follow the physics of it, whatever the case may be. So
crazy story. Listen to this, boys. This is crazy. So I moved here from Idaho. I moved here from Boise, Idaho, and I'm working at 126 and 59. And I'm like, hey man, I want to get back into bowling. So I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna join the league. This is 2010. So I go to this bowling center, Plainfield Lanes. It's technically Chris Prather's house. So I go in there. I'm like, hey, I want to join a men's league, blah, blah, blah. They said, come here for the draft. It is what it is. I'm like, all right, cool. So I came in for the draft. Meet this guy. His name's Steve. Hey, man, do you need a bowler? It's like, yeah, I need a bowler. Cool. He says, you any good? I'm like, hey, man, I ain't bowled since like 1990, maybe 91. He's like, all right, cool. You got any equipment? He said, what are you bowling? I'm like, dude, I got me a black Rhino. And he goes, you're going to need some new equipment. Literally, I was the worst bowler on their team. They had this one dude, I think he was like 72, and he had like 200 thanks and 300s. Listen, it was shocking. It was shocking how good these guys were. And it was Steve Lunsford. And then I bowled with him for a year and a half, and then I leave. And I don't see Steve for probably 5 years, I'd say, 5 years minimum. And the next thing you know, it just went like this. I meet AJ, we do this, and then Brian and I hook up. It's like, holy crap, how small, how large the bowling community is, but how really freaking small it is. Gary, Sierra, the people that she bowled against are still out there doing her stuff.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy how, and I really wish, and I hope JVB gets his kids in. Let them go bowl, because there's so many scholarship chances that those kids can go bowl, and it's better to get in. And then Brian, where are you coaching at, Brian?
So I'm at Joliet Central.
Okay.
So I've been doing that. I think this is my 9th year. So I started out as a volunteer, just helping out when I could.
Right.
And actually, at that time when I was volunteering, Lunsford was actually the assistant coach there. His job got too busy, and he had to step away. So we had another coach who was involved too. And then at that point, kind of became available. My buddy goes, "Hey, I need you to take the assistant role if you can." And I said, "All right, let's do it. We'll see how it goes." And that was the year of COVID. So now we're going on 5 years after that. Some years are easier than others. Some years are a little more of a struggle. But
Joliet Central, it's high school?
Correct.
High school men's, girls and boys, or just girls?
High school. So I just I do the girls. My buddy Steve Perrion and he's the head coach. I'm the assistant coach. We have the girls team, and then we have 2 guys who are the men's coaches too. So what's your home house? You guys bowl out of Strike and Spare? We are at Strike and Spare. Yeah, we used to be in Crest Hill at Crest Hill Lanes, They closed down. We need another place to go, so we went over to Strike and Spare.
Is that where Taylor
is? Anybody that's out there right now, I'm telling you right now, the Chicagoland area for bowling is a mecca. It is literally, there are some of the best bowlers in the entire world come out of this place right here. In a 60-mile square radius, Cam Crow, AJ Johnson, Jerry Mars, Zach Carter, Brandon Mooney. I mean, my God, Sal Esposito, Joe Lichtner. I mean, the list is Brandon Biondo. I'm telling you, the amount of people that bowl out of here is legitimately crazy. If you come up to Eric Pollock, if you come up to this north central or northeastern Illinois and win a scratch tournament, you're a badass MFer.
You've done something. You've done something.
Chris Prater, AJ Johnson. The amount of people that bowl here is insanely good.
Sierra bowled in a EYT. I think it was at Taylor Bailey's dad was the general manager.
That would be that's Town and Country over in Joliet, which an amazing place. Also, Jeff, who is Taylor's dad, Jeff does a great job there too.
Yeah, that's where we came up. She bowled in EYT in Deandras, and it was her second one coming up. First one we didn't fare so well. 2 months later, we came up there, and she won. She won there.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And then we bowled again in DeKalb.
Okay.
I'm kind of lost, so Deuce, you got to help me out. I don't know if that's
Mardi Gras Lanes. That's a little west of where we live.
Yeah, north and west of where I'm at.
That's the Jordan House. Let's just call it what we call that. That's the Jordan House. Griffin and Landon Jordan. Landon Jordan made it through the PTQ. He's doing very well in the U.S. Open. So that those boys, Tony Jordan, Tammy Jordan, those guys have a great career ahead of them. I think Landon signed with SCAD. He's going to go bowl with the Bone Boys. They've been on the show. So, he's got a great career ahead of him.
Yeah, we was at DeKalb over there. I guess it's Mardi Gras Lanes, and Sierra won. Yes, Sierra won the second EYT over there. So I'm kind of figuring out where Deucey's at and where I look. And all I know is like a 9.5-hour drive home in the dark. I think we got home like at 2:00 in the morning or something. I can't remember. It's always better when you drive home after because let's be honest, Deandra, she brings in 160, 70 kids.
Tournaments do very well.
When you come back,
Trey Hageshmeyer's been part of Deandra's crew. Landon and Griffin Jordan have been part of that crew. Anthony Simmons is part of that crew. They have the
Brandolinos. Yeah.
Listen, that girl will win a PBA event with the men. That girl,
she throws it really good.
I've sat behind her at Mardi Gras and watched her bowl. That girl knows what she's doing. She's phenomenal.
Yeah, Mardi Gras 100%. Is a special place because Sierra bowled last. She had to strike out to win. Buries the pocket all 3 times, unlike her father does. Okay. We win by 1 pin or something. I can't remember what it was like that. It was an exciting time. Now, going back to EYT after that, we didn't fare so well. But that's okay. You go five times, you win, 2 out of the 5 or 4 times? I don't know.
You're either winning or you're learning. That's it.
Yeah. And Deandra, she brings in like 175 kids at a time, man. That's like, we're U15. Back then it was like U15, U18, U20. I think it's all changed now. But yeah, it's a lot nicer riding home when you win.
100%.
So Jason just deleted the guy I was going to talk about here in a second. So I got to give a huge shout out to Andrew Pierce. Andrew Pierce, a buddy of mine, bowls up here. He bowls out of Rockford. He bowls at Don Carter. He bowls out of Park Lanes Bowl. Dude is on fire. Brett Spangler, if you're watching, you need to sign this dude to a contract. He's bowled like 4 300s in the last 3 weeks. He's bowled like 6 800s in the last month and a half. Dude is on fire with that freaking Jackal Onyx. Andrew, literally, he shot 299, 247, 298 during the freaking over 50 sweeper at Parkways Bowl in Loves Park. And he has been crushing it, dude. I'm telling you.
That's a heater.
No, dude, I'm telling you, he's been ripping it up. He is a Rockford Hall of Famer, Rockford, I don't know what they call it, the association. He's been freaking killing it, man. So we need to get him a contract. I told him, I'm like, hey man, I'm going to US Open on Wednesday. I'll talk to Brett. We'll see what we do. Yeah, he's been ripping it up, man.
Hey, I'm the one that needs the contract, man.
Hey, listen. Hey, so Gary's claim to fame is like, hey, man, pick up the 710. So he picked up the 10, picked up a 7 in 2 shots, and he picked up the 710. He thought that was good.
Hey, that works for me.
No. All right, so let's get back.
It was the best 2 count ever.
We got to. So we tried to get Steve Lunsford on the show, but he's working. Some
traveling for work, yeah.
Some people have to work with it. And listen, I mean, Steve and I are really good friends. And what was really cool, I went to, I think it was maybe Wauwatosa. It was during the doubles or something. And I'm sitting in the bleachers. I turn around, and there's Steven Barber right behind me. He's like,
yeah.
Hey. I'm like, hey, what? Hey. It was so cool. Cool. So, Brian, what's your best AJ Johnson story? And listen, okay, so there's no filters here. We love him like he's ours, like he's my nephew. There's no holds barred. You're not going to say anything that's going to offend him because his dad said, get Brian Falada on the show and let him share some stuff.
So you know his dad and I bowl together, right?
Yes, sir.
2 nights a week, have been for a long time. That family is they're one of the greatest bunch of people I've ever come across in my life. So I'll tell you a good one, a sort of funny one, and then I'll tell you one that kind of illustrates how good of people they are, right? So I'm not going to name the companies, right? But there was a ball company that AJ was infatuated with in high school. Okay. He only threw one brand. And if it had another logo on it, he was not interested in it. Okay. So we tried to, and the way AJ kind of got to be part of everything was Steve knew him from high school bowling. Lunsford was a high school bowling coach at one point before he opened up the shop, and that kind of took off. So they had, at that time, they were calling them ISSTs or something like that, basically a high school tournament on the weekends. They had one at Pioneer. So we're there on a Saturday, and he goes, you got to watch this kid. He goes, the way he throws it, he goes, he's got like PBA Tour quality game, and he's like 15 years old. I'm like, all right, well, I'll take a look. Like, who am I? My opinion don't really mean anything, right? So he goes, you got to watch him. Crazy backswing, ridiculous rev rate, ball speed, everything. Okay, so he's talking about AJ, obviously.
Right.
So I go out and I watch AJ, and the first shot I saw him throw, I turned around and looked at Steve, and I go, oh my God. I'm talking the vertical backswing, rev rate for days, threw it 5 miles an hour harder than anybody else he was bowling against, and just destroyed the rack. I go, that kid's going to be something one day, right? It's just he's got too much talent. So days are over with. AJ's walking out of the center. I think he was maybe with Shawn at that point in time. They're getting ready to leave, and I come outside. At the time, I was a smoker, so I was outside smoking. Steve was outside too. We were just kind of sitting out there BSing. And AJ comes out, and Steve goes, hey, Age, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. They kind of catch up a little bit. They were kind of talking about the next day and what the next pattern was going to be because it was a Saturday-Sunday thing. So they kind of talked a little bit of ball strategy here and there. No big deal. Well, it was like after that, AJ was always around. because he was a good friend of another kid who worked in the shop with us after school, named Alex. So Alex and AJ were together all the time, right? So earlier, exactly, Alex Noble. So I kind of said earlier that Stars and Strikes was the type of place that some people just came in, they never left. Like they were always there. So AJ spent.
I got to interrupt for a second, but you're absolutely right. So a great pro shop is a place you want to go and hang out that doesn't serve beer. You just want to go and hang out with your boys and talk about stuff. And, there's give and take. They kick you in the ding ding. They can kick you back in the ding ding. And it is what it is. It's about boys hanging out. I'm telling you, people, if you're watching this and you want to get into bowling, go hang out at the pro shop. It's kind of like hanging out at the barber shop.
Yes. Yeah. Find a good pro shop, operator who's personable, who makes you feel like you're at home.
Correct.
Not like you're just there. They're just there to sell you a ball and knock you out the door as quick as possible. That was never how it was with us. So we, AJ starts hanging around a little more. Before you know it, he's there every day after school. So fast forward a little bit of time, still in high school. And obviously told you he was just infatuated with this one ball company, right? So AJ, let us.
What ball company that is?
Yeah, but I'm not going to say anything. So we go, AJ, let us drill you another ball. Just try something. Let us try something different. We're like, you don't need to buy the ball. We're just going to drill it for you. You're going to throw it and tell us what you think. He's like, I'm not going to like it, but whatever, we'll do it. Okay, fine. So we drill him this ball, new at the time, supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. So he proceeds to take that bowling ball to a high school tournament, a high school match, and he shoots 857 with it, which to this day, I could be wrong, but I believe is still the high school record for boys bowling.
I think it is. I think it still stands.
Yeah, and I want to say he finished out that year. He averaged like 240 in conference. I mean, he just destroyed everything that he bowled. And after that, I think it kind of opened his eyes that there might be other brands out there that, given the right opportunity, could roll pretty good for you.
I've talked to him several times. Gary's talked to him several times. You probably know him longer than all of us, but we are all in his corner, man. I mean, Gary is his uncle. I'm his uncle. You might be his brother, but I mean, literally, I literally have told Shawn and Judy straight to their face. I'm like, he's my adopted son. Okay, period. I don't care what you say, but I love that kid like he's mine. I really, really do. I have a signed, autographed Jack Daniels bottle in my basement from that kid. Listen, we love that young man. I mean, they're not LUV, LOVE. We love that young man. And we will do anything. And I was so freaking close. I'm not kidding. When he made the show on Thursday night and I didn't have going on Friday, I was this close to jumping in my car and driving 12 hours to Delaware to go to the show. That guy right there, that guy right there and this guy over here, we have always said we need to be in the crowd when he wins his first stateside tournament.
Yeah. We
need to be in the crowd. And I will jump on a fucking airplane and fly to Reno, Vegas, California. I don't fucking care. If he's top five, it was bad timing for this time, but we need to be in the crowd when he wins one.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, we gave him a little bit of a hard time about the, not wanting to throw the ball or that we picked for him and everything else. But, obviously all in good fun. That was the, like I said, that kind of opened his eyes a little bit. I think that there's more opportunity out there, just keep your eyes open and just kind of be open to what the best options are for you,
Sure.
and there was the story that is probably my favorite about the family in general is right around the same time, probably maybe a year later. He's still in high school. He was bowling for Oswego, and at the time, I had a grandparent who passed away, unfortunately. So, I'm out of the shop for a couple of days, and you kind of have a little lay of the land here, right? So we're out in Plainfield where the shop's at. I live in Plainfield. The wake and funeral and all that was all back more towards the city, probably an hour from where we're at here.
Right.
So, I'm out of the shop for a couple of days, no big deal. The night of the wake, it's probably towards the end of the night, probably 7:30 or so. And all of a sudden, AJ and Shawn walk in the door at my grandfather's wake. So, and AJ he's got on his Oswego Panthers jersey, and he's got on his jacket. So they finished bowling a match and drove straight from the match to come to the wake just to pay their respects, which I to this day have never forgotten that. I don't think it's something I'll ever forget. It just kind of illustrates the core of that family and their values. So it bothers me when I see things, and sometimes Shawn and I have had this conversation. Sometimes we have to kind of back off from the keyboard warriors on Facebook. It bothers me when I see things that attack him as a person, because I know who he is. I know his morals, I know his values, I know the type of person he is. So, you want to attack somebody as a bowler, what they can do, what they can't do, that's one thing. But attacking somebody for who they are is totally different, especially when you don't know the person other than when they're on television.
So the best story I have about AJ. So we have a lot of fun on the show, but let's get a little serious for a second. The best story I have about AJ, and this is the reason I call him my nephew. This is the reason why he is part of my life, and he and his family will be part of my life till the day I die, or till they die. But we will be friends forever. So he comes to Liberty Lanes up in Cartersville. We bowl on Pro-Am. He wins a regional. He's like, "Hey, man, let's go golfing." And I'm like, "I'm golfing tomorrow. Can't come watch you bowl." And he wins that regional. And I'm like, "Where do you live?" "I live in Oswego." And he's out of college like 2 years. I mean, he's new into his career.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, we like click. I mean, we click instantly. And even though I'm 25 years older than he is, he treated me like I'm his buddy, and I treated him like he's my buddy. And he's just a normal dude. And then we started golfing together. "Hey, man, you available to golf?" "Yeah, I'm available to golf. Let's go golf." And we literally kicked it off and became great friends. I don't give a rat's ass that he's a professional bowler. He's my buddy. He will be my buddy forever. I don't care what he does for a living. I wish him the best. I've been in his new house. I wish his son in great things. Allie's fantastic. They are part of my family just because we got a chance to hang out. And he treats everyone so well. JVB, you got a chance hanging with him. Gary's had a chance hanging out with him. AJ Johnson is one of the best things in the sport of bowling. Tell me I'm not wrong, JVB.
No, you're not at all. I have a story where he messed me up bowling. Almost cost me to lose the tournament in Chicago there at Ducey's place. No, he's great. He hooked me up with a pair of the bowling shoes, brand new ones. I was 5 deep and switched shoes in the middle of the game and stuck and almost threw the ball in the gutter. It was hilarious.
Oh man!
But no, he's a great dude. He has so much love for the community and everybody, and he's he'll do anything for anybody.
Yeah. And I mean, and literally, and this is the thing about it. The more and people are watching, my God, come to the Illinois Open, go to Vernon Hills, go to Indianapolis, go to Waukesha, go to the tournaments and hang out with these guys. Everybody.
There's another.
How do you get to know these people? Well, I just walk up and say, hey, man, my name is Brian Ducey. Nice to meet you. What'd you do different? I did nothing. I just walked up and said hello.
I got a story. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Then when you're done, I got a story.
That's fine. So they're coming to Illinois next week. U.S. Open is this week. Next week, they're going to be in Vernon Hills. Go to Vernon Hills. They're going to be for 6 days in a row. Go to Vernon Hills. I'm bowling at Pro-Am on Monday night. Brian, you going to come bowl at Pro-Am on Monday night?
I don't know if I'll be there for the Pro-Am, but I'll be there at some point.
Oh, we'll check offline. I will be there too. So
Vernon Hills ain't that far for me.
It is not. It is not. So I'm a PBA nerd for a reason. The boys, listen, if I don't show up in Vernon Hills and they're in my backyard, Troop, Francois, okay. So the dog tags bowling veterans that have been on our show, Jesper, Troop, EJ, AJ, Francois Lavoie, Don Barrett, Stu Williams, Tom Smallwood, Jason Couch, the list of people that have been on our show, if I don't show up at freaking Vernon Hills, I'm out. I gotta go.
They'll be looking for you.
Yeah. They're gonna hunt me down.
So AJ was overseas, bowling.
Korea.
No, it wasn't Korea. It was for Team USA. I forgot where he was at. Right. So my daughter's getting married. Okay. And he had done so much stuff for us and helped Sierra and all this kind of stuff. And he said, when's the wedding? And we told him, he said, I think he was in Dubai or somewhere. I can't remember exactly where he was at. Right. And he said, I said, look, dude, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. He said, we'll make it work. So he flies all the way, wherever he's at, to Chicago. Okay. Shawn picks him up, takes him to his townhouse at the time, pulls in the driveway. He goes in, he gets a shower. He's already got a bag packed. All right. He gets a shower. He lays down for like 2 hours, 3 hours or something like that. Shawn takes him back to the airport and he flies from Chicago to Huntsville, Alabama. And I pick him up at the airport and he was there for the rehearsal dinner and for the wedding. But I was joking with him. You know how he always used to wear that Blackhawks jacket?
Blackhawks
blazer
jacket.
Yeah. And having sunglasses on. I said, hey, you need to wear this to the rehearsal dinner, man. You need to wear that. I said, dude, you're hot. You're hot. All these chicks will be all over you. And I said, if you want to. I said, that's fine. I said, I think you'd look cool. He comes in with EJ Tackett and his wife, Ronnie Russell and his wife, and Andrew Anderson. And he comes in. I see all these folks. Age is walking in behind him. Jacket's unbuttoned. He comes walking in. And everybody's like, wow, who is this guy, right? And everybody's got all these regular clothes on and all this kind of stuff, right? And he's like, man, I feel awkward. I feel out of place. Man, why did you do me this way? But he made the night, man. It was, but yeah, that's for all that he's done for me, right?
Yeah, and I think the biggest hit out of all of that is that AJ has fun with it, but he treats everyone the same. Whether he's hanging out with Terrell Owens when he wins the Chris Paul tournament, whether he's hanging out with Pete Weber, whether he's hanging out with Randy Peterson, Kevin Pressler, me, you, JVB, Brian, Steve Lunsford, the guys in the league at fucking Fox Bowl. He is extremely personable in that. And I tell Shawn and Judy every time I see him, I'm like, listen, I love it when people come up to me because my kids are older than AJ. I love it when people come to me, hey, man, your kids are good people because you raised them right. So every time I see them, I'm like, your kid's my friend because you raised them right. He could be my kid. I'm not going to call him my kid. I'm calling me Uncle Deuce. And he's actually signed shit at my house to Uncle Deuce. So it's what
well, I mean, you were there. We were there at the Illinois Open last year, right? I mean, he loses a heartbreaker really to Marshall.
Yep.
And he spent an hour and a half afterwards, people standing in line, signing autographs. And you know what? he didn't cheat anybody on an interaction. You know, he was talking to people, laughing, smiling, being personable after just losing. I mean, arguably his best chance lately to win on U.S. soil, right? That was what.
And especially in his hometown. I mean, that was the hype. That was the big time hype. That was the big time hype that he could win in Illinois, 40 miles from his hometown, and he's going to kick ass and take names. And literally, this is kind of fun. That ball he threw the Crimson Jackal, that ball is in my bag.
Is it?
That ball he threw in that tournament, the championship match, is in my bag right now. I have that. Yeah. So yeah, he just you can't. All right. So Brian, you gotta tell us some dirt. Give us some dirt, man. Give us some dirt.
Man, I don't know if I really have.
He's not watching. He's bowling. He's not watching.
No, I honestly don't know if I really have any dirt on him. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. We've given each other a hard time over the years, but I don't think I have any real good dirt on him. You know what I mean?
I don't have any dirt on him either, but here's my dirt. This is kind of crazy. So it's COVID. COVID's screwed shit up. We can't get anywhere, blah, blah. I mean, there's no bowling going on, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, hey, man, you want to go up to Minnesota and we'll go fishing? He said, sure, let's go fishing. I'm like, all right, cool. Come to my house. We'll drink some freaking booze. We'll spend the night, and then we'll go fishing. So we go fishing. But on the way to go fishing, he's driving. He's driving his Jeep, whatever it was. I don't know what it is.
Grand Cherokee.
Ding Dong does not have any idea what the left lane is for. And he's driving the left lane the whole time. I'm like, dude, you pass it. I'm not passing anybody. Well, get the fuck out of the left lane. Move your ass over to the right. Why? I'm like, because you're in the fucking way, bro. Get out of the way. So now he's got this new GMC freaking cool ass Sierra with Super Cruise. And I'm like, well, hopefully you fucking push your ass in the fucking right lane.
We used to give him a real hard time. We had in the shop, there was everybody's time and then there was AJ time.
Oh my God.
And I'll give him a hard time about that till the day he dies.
He will be late for his funeral. There's no doubt.
Yeah. But it makes me laugh because he's always on time for PBA stuff and players meetings and all that stuff.
But he will not be on time for Brian Falada or Brian Ducey time. Hey, dude, it's crazy. We go play golf and it's let's just say the tee time's 9:10. That MFer will show up at 9:00. I'm like, dude,
you gotta tell him tee time's 8:30.
I tell him all the time. If our tee time's 9:10, I tell him it's like 8:15.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
Because he will be late. Gary, he's always late.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Always late.
Always late.
All right, boys. We ran a little bit longer than we were thinking of. Anybody want to say anything before we get out?
Just nice to meet you. Appreciate you coming on. Sorry I was running late. I was on my way in from work, and then I couldn't get everything to paste, but we got it going, and didn't mean to jump in, interrupt you, but yeah, you good. I know all about, man. Smart money is where it's at.
Yeah,
it will help pay the bills for mom and dad. So, so appreciate your input on that. You're welcome to come on anytime, and please spread the word. Tell everybody in your circle who we are, and what we do, but hey, love to have you on again, and maybe we can meet in person one day. Okay. Will
do. Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for your service. Appreciate everything you guys do. And I will definitely spread the word on my end over here.
Yeah. So Dog Tags Bowling has been, Jason, how long has Dog Tags Bowling officially been going
on? Officially we've been, what is it? Almost February. So almost 7 months.
7 months. Exactly. And I think we've given away almost $10,000 to veterans organizations. Yeah. So
very nice.
We will never be BVL. We don't have the footprint that Johnny Petraglia has. But hey, hang on. Shawn Johnson says, "Come on now,
come on now."
Oh, now I didn't know he was up. Yeah, Shawn, send us a comment. Send us a comment before we get out. All right. So, so Dog Tags Bowling really kind of originated because what Jason's doing down in Tennessee, and the three of us all kind of hooked up and like, hey man, let's start giving money away. So we gave away money to the Indie Warrior Partnership in Indianapolis. We gave money away to Stand Down Tennessee in is it not Nashville? It's Clarksville.
Yep.
Clarksville. And then we gave away some money to Veterans Path for Hope up here in McHenry County. So we are trying to make money worthwhile. We are a 501c3. I will literally put some stuff out this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday, with videos from the pros telling everybody, go support Dog Tags. I will get this on my phone. I will put it on Dog Tags. We'll get it out there. Listen, man, all we're trying to do is make it better for people, whether it be 22 a day, whether it be your local organization for VFW. We all served. Listen, we raised our right hand to say, hey, we will protect the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. We will give our life on the line. Jason's still in that game. I'm not, but I'm a civilian. I'm the militia. He's the army. I'm the militia. So we can make that happen.
There you go.
All right. So Brian, I don't know if you ever watched the show before. So
I have.
We finished the show with two things. So I was part of the U.S. Army Honor Guard in Washington, D.C., and they filmed a movie while I was there. It was called Gardens of Stone, full-blown Hollywood production. And during the movie, there's a toast, and the toast is, here's to us and those like us. Damn few. Thank you, boys. Appreciate you being on.
Yep.
And then Gary kind of wraps it up with his deal, and it's pretty poignant. Go ahead, Gary.
Well, as always, may the man upstairs continue in providing overwatch for our brothers and sisters, both near and far, as they protect us from enemies, both foreign and domestic. So keep your eye on our brothers and sisters wherever they may be. They're under the watchful eye of the great keeper.
Yeah, so Brian, we greatly appreciate you coming out. Brian, if AJ makes the show, we got a spot for you. You just come on over, text me, and we got a spot. If he makes the show, make the travel. Just hop your. I was gonna say something crazy. Your ass in the car. It's only 2.5 hours from us.
I would say 2.5 hours. It ain't far.
2.5 hours. If he makes the show, you better come. I got a spot.
All right. Well, let's hope for a good week from him then. Yeah,
I mean, listen, it is the biggest challenge in bowling ever. It's the biggest challenge in golf. If you make the U.S. Open, it is a legitimate, crazy good thing. So hopefully he bowls well. Hopefully he takes the momentum that he has from last week. My God. Okay, we got to get back to the show. My God. He goes game 18. He throws a big 4 and makes the cut by 5 pins. He's the 24th qualifier, and then he makes the show. Come on.
I sent him a text after. I go, you know what? You're free rolling. You got nothing. You got nothing to lose now. You're free rolling.
24th qualifier, and he makes the show. That's insane. And you had 2 PTQ guys, Davison and Pate, make it. Awesome. Freaking awesome. That's what the game's all about. Hey, never let it down. You don't have EJ make it. You don't have Belmo make it. You don't have Simo make it. Come on, man. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Well, a lot of season left. So Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, so we're gonna end the stream. The rest of us stay on if you want to for a second, and we'll be out. So anybody that's out there, and Shawn Johnson, come on now. All right, we'll see y'all.
Take care.